Oh, okay. Now there is one additional reason to buy this figure, that puffing face expression. I think this is the first time I'm seeing such a face expression on any anime figure. Hi and welcome back to the channel, I'm Steven. For today, a Sunday, we'll be having a... Hi and welcome back to the channel, Steven right here with this week's Figure News Fix. We'll be taking a look at skill figures as well as third-party resin figures on pre-order between 25th to 30th of September 2023. And there goes September. We are into the fourth quarter of the year. Okay, before we continue, there are a few things. Firstly, for this week, it is the exact opposite of last week. Last week, we have so few genuine skill figures and a lot of resin figures. For this week, the genuine anime figures from Japan, yeah, they heavily outnumber the resin stuff. Not much stuff on the resin side, right? Also, tomorrow, which is Monday, tomorrow and the day after, Monday and Tuesday, both of these days are Wonder Festival Shanghai in China, right? So it is quite odd for Wonder Festival to be held on weekdays, even more so Monday and Tuesday. If you were wondering why Monday and Tuesday, because the first week of October is a public holiday week in China. Mid-Autumn Festival, are you buying mooncakes? Yeah. So it makes sense, right? But at the same time, the choice of the day, Monday and Tuesday itself, is pretty weird. I do agree with that. Now back to today's topic on figures on pre-order in the final week of September. As usual, I'll be making use of Hobby Link Japan as well as OSGK for genuine anime figures and resin figures respectively. There are some affiliate links below in the description for you to make use of it. Also, I'll be jumping over to Ami and also Ninin Game and Aniplex Plus for some exclusive items and so on. So I'll be making use of a few websites, right? Okay, now we go into Hobby Link Japan, new pre-orders and of course, figures on pre-order. And then we remove the adult not 18 plus items filter above and then we sort things by date added. So I have already selected all the figures I want to cover. The first one right here, this is a pop-up rate of Ushio Kofune from Summertime Rendering, just under 4,000 yen. While I can't recommend pre-ordering pop-up rates, I do think this is a good buy, especially after release. Summertime Rendering, if you haven't watched this anime, I highly suggest that you do. It feels like ReZero in some way, yeah, and that is a major spoiler I've already given off to those of you who haven't watched it yet. It was great. I have not finished the anime yet. In fact, I'm stuck at around episode 8 or 9, but it is a great watch. 24 episodes or so. Go and try it if you haven't done so. As for this figure itself, this is just plain school uniform outfit, but pretty photogenic pose. I like it a lot. And I look forward to maybe photograph this figure in the future. This is pretty cheap, 4,000 yen after all. Moving on to the next figure right here, 1x4 scale Emil Bertin swimsuit, Côte d'Azur from Azur Lane. Alright, this is 32,700 yen after a small discount, coming out in October next year. Okay, this, at first glance, this does not really look like an Azur Lane character at all. The character design is very different from the usual design language of Azur Lane characters. So I was really surprised to see that word Azur Lane over there. Alright, but 32,000 yen for a 1x4 scale is a great price given that Fring is asking at least 38k. This one is by Design Coco. Yeah, their figures so far look okay based on the pictures of those which are already released. So if you like the character design, yeah, go ahead and pick one up. The base on this is quite nice. Like, you see that that water effect over there on the base at the back there. That is one of the nicest looking water effect bases I've seen. It looks almost rather natural to me. Moving on to the next figure, more Azur Lane stuff. This week we have a lot of Azur Lane stuff, right? 1x7 scale Amagi-chan by Apex Toys for 21,000 yen, coming out in July next year, year 24. Okay, looks cheap, right? 21k for 1x7, but this is a really tiny figure. I wish that Apex should have done this at 1x6 scale. But I guess that for the sake of consistency, where other Azur Lane figures are mostly 1/7, yeah, makes sense, I suppose. There are so many Ninetale Fox characters over multiple game franchises, right? In FGO with Tamamo, and then despite being a small figure, wow, those are huge balls, huge golden balls. Yeah, very adorable character indeed. And once again, without those ship parts, I would have never guessed this is an Azur Lane character. Moving on to the next one from Kadokawa, we have 1/7 skill for Getter Annette from Spy Classroom, 21,500 yen, fair price for 1/7 skill, I suppose. The only problem with this series of Spy Classroom characters and their figures is that everyone is wearing the same school uniform, so it does get pretty plain and boring depending on the perspective. Some people like that for consistency on their shelf, right? When there's a shelf and then they have figures from the same franchise, same series, they all look the same. Some people like that. For me, not so much. Can't go wrong with this one if you want figures from Spy Classroom. I think Kadokawa is the only one making skill figures from this anime series. Should be ending soon. Yeah, the final episodes are airing this week. Next figure from Tales of Destiny, we have a 1/7 skill Leon Magnus at 24,000 yen by Weibos, Chinese figure brand, coming out in July year 2024. Personally, I know nothing about Tales of Destiny, but this character over here, the pose does look pretty nice though. This is also quite a nice package. I mean, you're getting a figure with a dynamic pose, you get a diorama base, and you get a bit of effect part over there. And the effect part is simple, it is not overdone. 24,000 yen is a fair price actually. And yeah, this batch of photography work here at the end, I do like it quite a bit. Yeah, especially this one with a bright background. This is a nice shot of the figure. Yep. Not my kind of figure naturally. Moving on to the next one over here, we have 3 different color versions of this 1/6 scale figure of Urza Scarlet from Fairy Tail by Orca Toys. And this isn't the first time they are doing multiple different colors on the same figure and on Urza Scarlet as well. Orca Toys has done this in the past, and they are the kind of B-tier average figure company which gives you value. So as you can see, this is pretty affordable, 21,280 yen. It's 1/6 scale, which is not bad at all. This is the Halloween cat version, and then there is this one, Byako Gravier version, which I'm not really a fan of the colors over here, like too much white color, and it does not blend really well with Urza Scarlet's red color hair and her Fury character. Doesn't really blend in that well. And then the third one over here, this is quite nice as well, Sakuraneko Gravier style. I'm still leaning towards the Halloween cat a bit more. Yeah, this is my favorite of the 3, and Sakuraneko is close second place behind. Okay, so yeah, this pink, it is really weird, I know, for a guy to like pink color, but I have no idea why colors are being used to define male and female, you know? It should not be weird for guys to like pink color and for girls to like more manly colors. I think doesn't matter really. Yeah, this is nice. To me, this Halloween cat version is the best looking color simply because of the what do you call that, color theory, right? So the outfit is orange, yellow, orange, and then the stockings are purple, violet. Color contrasting, which makes this figure stand out so much. I wish that the orange color is a bit brighter, but this is still not bad. I like this color scheme the most. Up next, another Azur Lane figure, 1/7 scale Enterprise Wind Catcher version by Apex Toys. This is a really good price, 23,000 yen, but what do you expect? Apex Toys, they make excellent figures nowadays. I've reviewed a few of their figures and every single one of them turns out to be really high quality. So this is something I can highly recommend. I pre-ordered Baltimore actually, but I'm not sure if I want to go ahead and pick up the figure because I really don't want to get into this Azur Lane hole over here. Genshin and especially FGO is already doing enough damage to my wallet. Blue Archive as well, because I've decided to pick up Blue Archive. So I would really want to stay from Azur Lane as much as I can, but they keep making it harder and harder for me, right? This is incredible, man. Seriously, I love this so much. And not just for the character design, those goggles on her head as well. But I think I can skip pre-ordering this one. I don't expect this figure to become rare. I think it is not yet too late to buy one after release, should the time comes. Because so far, there are no Apex Toys figures that become very rare after release. They make enough stock, right? So perhaps this figure will make it into my bookmarks section in my figure collection profile, just to make sure myself remember that I want this figure in the future. Up next, 1x6 scale little Cheshire figure from Azur Lane, 20,000 yen by any game. Now this is such an adorable thing to look at. Oh man, this is so cute, man. Look at that. How can you say no to that face? No, you don't have to be a lolicon to like this, right? This is just so cute. Oh, okay. Now there is one additional reason to buy this figure, that puffing face expression. I think this is the first time I'm seeing such a face expression on any anime figure. This is something really unique. Wow. Like I said earlier, Azur Lane keeps making it harder and harder for me to resist their figures now. This is something special indeed. Oh, a third faceplate, crying. Man! No, this Anigame is a Chinese figure brand, by the way, and they surely do know how to offer value to people. This is like a highly upgraded Nandoroid in some way, a very short character. And then you get this. Oh, this is amazing. Why not just buy 3 of this figure and display each with different faceplate? 60,000 yen right there. Oh boy. Yeah, highly recommended. Go for this one. For those of you who collect Azur Lane, this is an excellent buy just for the 3 faceplates alone. Yeah. Next, okay, this one. Pop-up rate Hitori Goto Bochi the Rock for just under 4,000 yen. Yeah, this was fairly popular, no matter who posted it on Facebook. See, I saw a lot of reacts, hahas, and shares. Appropriately so because of this faceplate. This is possibly the first pop-up red figure with 2 different faceplates. And to have it for under 4,000 yen, yeah. Normally, I won't recommend pre-ordering pop-up reds because of the potential quality issues, but there really isn't anything for a good smile to mess up on this figure, you know. The hair, the shirt, and the skirt, everything is just like plain without much intricate details, and the mouth, while being open, there is no teeth to speak of. None visible over here. So I don't see good smile messing up this figure. Yeah, this is kind of a good buy, really. You don't see figures like this very often. This is almost like a meme material itself, you know. Up next, this is a re-release twin box illustration Maeda Shiori-chan, 16,800 yen by Union Creative. They really know how to offer value. Union Creative figures are usually quite affordable despite their size, right? This is, their figures are quite big, normally 1x7 to 1x6, even though it is non-scale on paper. This had to be popular enough to get a re-release, right? Because back then when this figure came out, I still remember it. It felt ordinary, like nothing special. But obviously people who like the art, the artist behind this artwork or figure, yeah, they are snatching up the figure for sure. A pretty good figure for photography, but otherwise I'm skipping this one. The next figure over here, also from Azur Lane. Now this one is really tempting to me. Yeah, because it is an outer figure and it is under 20,000 yen. Le Malin, Nap Loving Lepine version. Yeah, 19,800 yen. And you get 2 faceplates. I don't collect Azur Lane, and several Azur Lane figures from this one single week alone is making me want to hit that pre-order or purchase button so badly. That is how tempting Azur Lane stuff are. I'm actually quite surprised by my will, like how strongly I am resisting all these poisons over here. This faceplate is nice. The default one is also nice. I really can't decide if I were to buy this one. Now, just now that Race Queen figure, or what was her name again, Enterprise, was desirable enough. This Le Malin is even more so, because the character design of this Le Malin is totally up my alley. My kind of figure, yeah. This one will also go to the bookmarks section in my figure collections profile. Yeah. Up next, 1x7 scale Fox Spirit Matchmaker Tushan Yaya Blue Scale Blue Deal version by Yuewen Goods. Okay, this is a relatively new Chinese figure brand. I've seen a few of the figures going on pre-order, but nothing concrete yet. None of them have been released yet so far, so we'll see. This is 26,000 yen, but considering that you're getting a 1x7 scale figure and that dragon thing over there, I'll call it the water dragon, 26k is not bad. And you look at that water base over there, that water effect base, this is exactly what I was talking about when I reviewed that Moon Cancer BB figure by Outer a week ago, right? Where Outer just printed something on the base, and I asked for some 3D effect, water effect based like what we're looking at over here. Something like this would have been better. Okay, as for the figure itself, I know nothing about the character, and yeah, I'm not interested in this. But I can't help but admire the figure in some way, because there is nothing quite like this out there, right? Up next, this is also one of my favorite figures this week. I'm thinking of picking one up, because I am starting to get into Blue Archive as well. I won't buy every single figure from Blue Archive, like not every single character. I will only go for characters which I like the design a lot, and this is one of them. Kosaka Wakamo, 1x7 scale from Blue Archive by Neon Max, 24,000 yen. Now, Neon Max totally copied Outer's homework over here. Outer's Yoko Littner from Gurren Lagann from more than 10 years ago had the same exact pose. Like, this is a 100% copy over here, but I'm not complaining. That is a really old figure, and how many in stock can you find out there nowadays, right? Assuming you can even find one. That is a pretty rare figure. Now, Wakamo is replicating the same pose, which I like a lot, and look at all those details on the figure. Yep. I may not be pre-ordering one now, or maybe I should, I'm not too sure yet, but this is something you can expect me to pick up at some point. Yeah. Not to mention, I don't think I have any figure with a mask on like this one, so this is something unique to my collection. The closest thing I have with a mask on the face is Saber Outer, of course. Yeah. And look at this photography work right here. This is amazing. Yeah, I want one. This week is a rough week for me. So many attractive figures that is making me want to hit the order button, and I am resisting it so far. The next one from Good Smile Company, we have Suter Liberté, an ACAC version. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. But from Arknights at 1x7 scale, just 18,300 yen. And this figure is also something I want really badly after seeing it. Like those colors, that yellow color barricade, and then she is painting something. Those cans of paint over there, skateboard. This is incredible. This is totally my kind of figure. A detailed figure with a diorama base which is attractive enough, but not too big. I don't think this is a very big base. So this week, Blue Archive wants my money, Azur Lane wants my money, and now Arknights as well. This one is going into my bookmarks for sure. I might pick one up after release. Could be my first Arknights figure even, yeah. Normally when I see a figure that I really want, what I do is that I will come back a few days later. I won't hit the pre-order button immediately because I want to see whether the hype, the excitement that is inside is already gone or not. Sometimes you'll succumb to this temporary adrenaline rush, like you see something you really like or something exciting, you hit the order button without thinking, and then there you go, you have more depth in a way, right? So if the excitement is still there, then I know that I will really want the figure. I will pre-order it, or yeah, I will bookmark it and come back to purchase it later. Sometimes you see something that you feel like you really want, but then a few days later you feel like you don't care anymore. So this is the thing. One way to fight your impulsive purchase tendencies on anything expensive is to come back a few days later instead of buying it immediately, right? The next one over here, pop-up rate, we have Tsunayoshi Sawada from Katekyo Hitman Reborn, just under 4,000 yen. This is something I think you can wait until after release before buying, you know? Katekyo Hitman Reborn, yeah, don't really see any high quality scale figures out there, but then there are resin figures of this character, I think. Alright, we move on to the next figure. Okay, this one is also SJW bait right here, because we have a lolly character with Z Cup Opai somehow. 1/6 skill Dragon Lulu from Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. 24,000 yen by Weibo's Chinese figure brand. And I have no idea what cup size those are. Should be Z Cup, I think, the biggest one. And how many Lulu figures are there out there? Yeah, I think there are quite a few. Good Smile also made one. I think it was Good Smile Arts Shanghai. She was holding a small chair, I think. That one was quite cheap, 18,000 yen or so. But the opai on that one is not as big as this one. Yeah. Okay, so let's have a look at the pictures over here. Man. It just looks so weird to me, no matter how many times I look at this figure. Not my kind of figure, of course. But I think we both did a great job with this figure, and this one will sell quite well regardless of what people say, regardless of whether I like it a lot. Dragon Maid is incredibly popular. Up next, another excellent figure for this week. 1/6 scale. 1/6 scale. The Plus Darkness from Hololive, only under 20,000 yen by Good Smile. I think this is a no-brainer. If you love Hololive, and regardless of whether you like this VTuber or not, I would say go for it. 1/6 scale, under 20,000 yen for such a detailed figure. This is a really good buy. Of course, this is tempting to me as well. There are like at least half a dozen figures this week that is making me want to hit that order button, you see. And this is not easy to handle emotionally. The temptation is really strong this week. Alright, this is one of the best purchases this week, together with the Arknight figure earlier. Yeah, by Good Smile as well. Sometimes Good Smile really offers great value for their scale figures. Up next, okay, we have Dragon Princess figure. This is an illustration by, what's her name again? What Kakao already? Yeah, Love Kakao. Alright. I actually don't know much about the artist. This is by Union Creative. The height is almost 1/6 scale, just 19,000 yen. So if you liked the character design, yeah, this is a good purchase, right? Okay, I'm not going to scroll any further because I need to censor the pictures, because who knows what YouTube is thinking about this figure, right? Once again, this week we have a lot of great value figures, right? So many exciting figures for not too much money. They all average like 20,000 yen to 24,000 yen this week. All these amazing figures. Yeah. Right, moving on to the next one, we have a 1/4 scale Yukina Himeragi from Strike the Blood. This is by Hobby Stock at 1/4 scale, only 33,000 yen, but this has to be one of the worst looking 1/4 scales I've seen so far in a recent year or so. I don't know, man. This doesn't look very detailed to me. Like, there are so many other figures of Yukina that looks better, and they are 1/7 scale. I'm not very sure about this one. You really are buying this one just for the size and nothing else. And between this black lingerie version and the white version, I think the white one suits her a lot more. In the anime, I think most of the time her lingerie is either white or pink color, so I was kind of curious why they did not paint the other version as pink instead of black. I think black does not suit her that much, right? So it really depends on whether you are a big fan of Yukina. I suppose you're buying this figure only for the size and not much else. Up next, we have an excellent elf figure by Vertex. Yeah, Vertex Original Elf Village. 12 Villager Lulunya, 30,000 yen at 1/6 scale. Yeah, that is an okay price nowadays, but man, this is really rough because we went from under 20,000 yen on previous elf figures all the way up to 30,000 yen within a year. Yeah, this is pretty pricey. However, the Vertex Elf series is a series of figures which I have always recommended so many times over the past year or so, right? Like, there is nothing to fault their figures for most of the time. And I'm surprised that this one does not come with that limited edition grass base. Or am I missing out something over here? I'm not too sure. If you have been collecting elf figures by Vertex, this is a natural purchase. You have to get this one as well. Yeah. The next figure over here, we have 1/7 scale Rise Shower from Uma Musume. This is also just under 20,000 yen for an outer figure. Lots of good value figures this week, right? One after another. Now, I don't collect Uma Musume as well, but this has to be one of the best looking Rise Shower figures out there. That includes the third parties. Yeah. That base is just a simple dish base, but it looks so nice somehow. I think it has to be the paint work over there. Not to mention, the pose is pretty attractive. If there is one Uma Musume figure I would like to get just for the sake of having something from Uma Musume, I think this one would be it. So for Uma Musume fans, please do pre-order this one. This is a good buy. Seriously good buy. I love the colors, I love the pose, I love the base. There's nothing I don't like about this figure. Yeah. Moving on to the next one, we have pop-up rate of Yamada Asaemon Sagiri from Hell's Paradise, just under 4,000 yen as well. And once again, this is the kind of pop-up rate which I think you can wait until after release before picking one up. Of course, if you have a bigger budget, go for the ones made by Furyu or Kotobukiya. The face on this one, I'm not too sure because I'm not sure if it is the product pictures, but this figure of Asaemon looks a bit too manly. I'm not sure if it is the shape of the chin or the face over here. Like, it is a bit very well defined and it almost looks like a man with long hair. I'm not too sure. So I have doubts about this figure of Asaemon compared to other options out there. Moving on to the next one, okay, we have 1/6 scale Sanis. This is regular version, and then there's a limited version which, if I'm not mistaken, you're getting some extra merchandise. Yeah. So this one is 23,800 yen by Clay M, which I've never heard of this brand before. Now, those are really big saggy papayas, and I have never been a fan of it, so I can't see myself buying something like this. Now, this figure, the base is thicker than even the main figure itself. I mean, look at that base. This has to be the first time I'm seeing an S base on any figure out there. The base is thicker than the actual figure's backside, see? It almost looks like an adult toy in some way, that base over there, which is kind of hilarious to me. Not my kind of figure at all. Yeah, nope, big nope to me. Moving on to the next one here, we have 1/6 scale Natsuho-san. Yeah, alright. By Daiki Kogyo, 21,000 yen. Alright, I mean, this may be a cheap 1/6 scale, but this could be quite a small figure from the looks of it, and I don't want to scroll any further. Cast-offable, of course, and yeah, that part I have circled right there. I'm concerned about that seam line, and if the final product also looks like that, it's not a good thing. And you'll see her hair strand covering her right shoulder over here. Do you know why they did that? There is actually a seam line underneath here. The right arm is removable. If you want to remove her outfit, you need to remove both of her arms. And there's a seam line over here, and then they're trying to conceal it with the hair. So I'm not too sure about this one. Doesn't look great to me. Alright, moving on to the next one. Okay, this one is 33,000 yen by Race Dream, Chinese figure brand. 1/6 scale Flanger Scarlet military uniform version, illustration by Minakata Sunao from Touhou Project. While this one isn't as cheap as many of the high quality amazing figures I've just covered, this is pretty good. This is also one of the best looking figures of Flanger Scarlet out there. I would even argue that this one is a bit better than the one made by Outer. Yeah. It has nothing to do with the scale, you see. I know the outer one is only 1/8 scale, which is unfortunate. This is 1/6. This is a massive figure at 33,000 yen. I would say this is good value. But just for the base and the pose alone, I would say this one is better than the one outer made last year. Of course, we still have to wait for the final result first, like the final product, whether it is as good as being depicted by these product pictures. And if it is, yeah, this is possibly the best Flanger Scarlet scale figure out there. And look at this photography work over here. This is incredible for a product photo. Yeah. Up next, we have a 1x7 scale figure of Bridget from Guilty Gear Strive, 25,800 yen by Questkill. Now, after covering so many amazing figures for between 20 to 25,000 yen, yeah, this one is starting to feel a bit expensive, even when this is a normal price for 1x7 scale nowadays, right? Yeah, I have no complaints about Questkill. They make amazing figures. I have a bunch of their FGO figures. So this one is a good buy if you like the pose. With so many scale figures of Bridget out there, it really is down to which one you prefer in terms of the pose and other smaller details, right? You can't really go wrong with scale figures made by Questkill. Oh, there is this handcuff around him. Alright, I wasn't paying attention. This is a good pre-order as well, a pretty good one. There really is no bad figures at all this week, isn't it? Other than that 1x4 scale Yukina figure earlier, which felt rather underwhelming. So far, everything else that is not pop-up rate this week looks amazing. Yeah. Alright, up next, we have a 1x7 scale Cheryl Nome from Macross Frontier. This is by Shibuya Scramble figure or E-Stream, 35,000 yen. Alright, so 35k for something this complex and sophisticated, I would say the price is fair. This is not my kind of figure though. I never liked figures like this where the main character is like floating in the middle of nowhere. Really depends on how the base is like, right? And for this one, not my kind of figure. And of course, there is Rankali too. Both of them always go on pre-order together and they always release together, right? So this is Rankali Amaterasu version, 35,000 yen by E-Stream as well, coming out in July next year. Same comment as Cheryl Nome, not my kind of figure at all. It is amazing that after like 20 whole years, I think it's not yet 20 years, right? I can't remember. I think Macross Frontier was from the mid-2000s or so. The fans are still there and they're still making products from this franchise even today. I would have never imagined Macross Frontier being as long-lasting as Evangelion, but here we are. Up next, okay, the two last figures for today on Hobby Link Japan. This is really unusual. I've never seen Furyu making low-cost scale figures like this, under 10,000 yen. Aki Adagaki from Masamune-kun's Revenge at 9,500, and also the other character over here, Yoshino Koiwai, from the same price. Alright, okay, so judging by the pictures I'm looking at for both figures, yeah, Aki looks a lot better. But then for Yoshino, this is where I'm seeing some red flags over here. Like the outfit is quite plain and then there is not much details going on and so on. And even more so, I'm not sure about you see the size of this figure is only 11 centimeters non-scale. So this is very close to 1/8 scale or even smaller than that. And my concern over here is what we are looking at is just a slightly better price figure. But they inflated the price so much by marketing it as a scale figure, a premium scale figure. So I have doubts about these two figures over here if I have to be honest. Yeah, I would say stay away if you can and wait until after release and look at the user pictures before deciding whether to pick up or not. Not to mention, this is Masamune-kun's Revenge manga and seasonal anime. I'm not sure if there is any value in getting both of these very early, you know? Yeah. Alright, now moving on to Ami. There are quite a few scale figures I would like to cover too. And for some reason, they are not yet listed on Hobby Link Japan for the non-exclusive ones, right? And the reason for that is very simple. Hobby Link Japan is a lot slower in listing new products to their website. Sometimes they are behind by several days, maybe staff shortage, who knows? So these figures, they might make it to HLJ at some point, maybe within early next week. But since I'm filming the video, I need to get it done by Saturday evening. So I'll just make use of Ami to continue where I left things off. The first one here, Huahu Moli Mo Shangli. I'm not sure what the Chinese words are, right? So I can't pronounce the tones correctly. Okay, 1/7 scale by Animaster, Chinese figure brand for 18,150 yen. Now, the way this figure is being set up, where she is sitting on a scroll of some kind with an umbrella behind her, this is something unique. Yeah, for sure, this is something I've never seen before. Oh wow, nice photo right here. However, it feels like the scene it's not really compatible with the way the figure is being set up. But anyway, these are just product photos. This is something unique for sure. I mean, there are so many Chinese themed anime figures nowadays, but most of the time what we get is Chinese dress are everywhere, and then there are so many ways to make figures with a Chinese theme. This one is something a bit different than usual, and for that reason alone, if you like what you're looking at, maybe go ahead and pre-order one. This is a nice figure indeed. Alright, so we move on to the next one over here from Honkai Impact 3rd. This is a scale figure, right? It is not very often we see scale figures from Honkai Impact 3rd, and I do think they are really missing out on a huge opportunity over here, because from what I'm aware of, Honkai Impact 3rd is really popular, but for some reason there are not many scale figures. Yeah. So this is Durandal Stella Promise version 1/7 scale by MiHoYo, 24,000 yen. MiHoYo is really making mistakes, I think. Like, they have so many popular franchises under their umbrella, the MiHoYo company umbrella, and so many popular characters which are not being made into figures. Genshin is a big example. So many characters missing from the figure market for some reason. The same can be said for Honkai Star Rail and Honkai Impacted, right? I have no idea what they are doing. Okay, so with this one, I'm not really a big fan of this character design right here. For some reason, whenever you mix white and blue color together in a dress, I never really liked the result. And this figure, yeah, the colors look a bit bland to me. I'm sure Honkai fans will love this figure, they'll pre-order it for sure. But this really isn't my kind of figure, unfortunately. So we'll move on to the next one. Okay, Barrel Abyss Yo-Yo, 1/4 scale by Mengxiang Toys. Oh, okay. Another new brand I've never heard of. Chinese brand, obviously. 1/4 scale, 10,800 yen. Yeah, low cost 1/8 scale. But this one is quite convincing to me. Like, how do I put it? I love the colors. Yellow and I call that Miku green or Miku blue, right? Miku green. That is turquoise, right? Turquoise. 1/4 scale for 10,000, 11,000 yen. Yeah, I'm not expecting this to be the best figure in the world or anything like that. This could be just price, figure quality, or slightly better than that. But 1/4 scale, I ain't complaining. I'm looking forward to see what the final product is like for this one. Now, this is going to be rather popular in fact. Up next, this is an Ami only exclusive. You can't pre-order it anywhere else. So Gremilia Scarlet at 1/8 scale. Such a shame, isn't it? I hope it is 1/7. Anyways, this is by Alter for almost 35,000 yen, coming out in June year 24. The other character, Flandre Scarlet, just came out back in May, several months ago, and I have heard a lot of good things about it. And this one looks to be even a bit, ever so slightly better in some way. Maybe it is the face expression, I don't know. I know that I've just praised the 1/6 scale figure by Ray's Dream earlier, that Touhou figure for 33,000 yen at 1/6 scale, but you know, Alter is the one with a long track record of making excellent figures. So this one naturally is going to be a must-have if you already have Flandre Scarlet. This is a natural buy. After all, we are not looking at 10 figures a set, it's only a pair or 2 figures, so why not go for it, right? Now that I'm looking at both figures side by side like this, yeah, this new figure is quite a lot better. Not just for the face, I think it is the color scheme, the red and blue, and I love those wings over there, make no mistake, yeah. Up next, another amazing Touhou Project figure. This is by Solarain. Hakurei Reimu at 1/7 scale, 27,500 yen, which I would say is a fair price, coming out in June year 2024. So we have 3 excellent, amazing Touhou figures in one single day. Like, there is something for everyone this week. Azur Lane, Uma Musume, what else? Blue Archive, Arknights, and now Touhou Project. The only thing missing is FGO, right? But please no, there are too many FGO figures already. Give me a break. 1 or 2 weeks without FGO stuff is fine, really. Now, this figure of Hakue Reimu doesn't look like the Reimu I know. This must be a very specific art style, but I do like it a lot. This is really nice, and I would even group this as being one of the best looking Reimu figures out there. 27,500 yen is not a bad price for something like this. Seriously, you're getting that really cool looking base there too. What else can you ask for, right? So this is a buy to me. Same goes for the outer and raised dream figure. So you guys Touhou fans, 3 pricey figures to hit that order button today. Yeah. Up next, okay, another Chinese figure brand, a new one which I've never heard of. Good show. Okay. Tokisaki Kurumi. This must be her 700th different figure already. From Dead to Alive, this is black Chinese dress version. 21,300 yen out in July year 2024. Now, this figure feels a bit underwhelming to me for some reason. Maybe because of the lying pose. Yeah. Or perhaps the one I reviewed by Apex Toys. Yeah, Chinese dress as well. That figure felt a bit small for a 1/8 scale, and it felt, well, it was just okay, but there are way better Kurumi figures out there, right? So many other Kurumi figures out there. So once you have a lot of things to compare to, it gets really harder for you to like something like this, which is at best average looking. I think I like the diorama a lot more than the main figure itself. Yeah, that is the main thing attracting me to this figure. Everything else that is not the figure. And I think that isn't a good thing because not everyone is like me. Most people buy the figure for the character rather than for the base or for the backdrop, right? Moving on to the next one, we have Kadokawa. Kadokawa's low-cost scale figures. This is Elena, 5,220 yen. They call this Kadokawa Collection Lite. Okay, interesting. So yeah, like smartphone, you have light version, lower spec, cheaper. So they are deciding to call their cheaper figures light. Not a bad name really. As for the figure itself, this is where things get a bit rough because Taito has their own full Tenitol series figure of Elena, which looks quite good as well. The last time I covered it in 1 or 2 episodes ago of Figure News Fix. This one isn't too bad looking either, but I think the one by Tenitol is just ever so slightly better. Partly due to the base as well. That one comes with a really good base, right? At least they're getting 2 faceplates, but these 2 I think this laughing faceplate is a lot better. I won't complain about figure brands getting into this low-cost figure market, even though I am not really the main target audience for these figures, because more different price points for everyone is always a good thing. More choices. Okay, the next one here, also Kadokawa Collection Lite. We have Roxy Migerdia, 5,600 yen, coming out in March year 2024. The one thing I really don't like about this figure of Roxy has to be the color of her hair, which I think it is too dark. Roxy's hair isn't dark blue. This is too dark. I think it needs to be 2 or 3 shades lighter blue, right? So this figure of Roxy does look a bit odd to me. The photo even looks a bit too dark, and I think the hair color is making it worse than it actually is, right? Is there a pop-up rate of Roxy Migerdia? I can't really remember, but nonetheless, this is a good buy if they fix the color of the hair. They really need to fix it. I've seen so many scale figures of Roxy 1/8, 1/7 scale and so on, and none of them has a hair color like this one over here. Up next, this is also an Ami exclusive. You won't find it anywhere else. From Uma Musume Pretty Derby, we have Nice Nature 1/7 scale. What kind of name is that? Nice Nature. Anyways, this is by Fats Company for an eye-watering 27,800 yen. This is perhaps one of the most expensive scale figures this week. Not in terms of the literal number and the pricing, we have 30,000+ yen figures, but in terms of value, right? This thing going for 28,000 yen is making that outer rise shower figure earlier look like an absolute bargain bin pricing, even when it is not. That is the actual price, 19,800. And this one, for some reason, made by Fats Company, they think they can ask for an additional 8,000, 9,000 yen. I have no idea what they are thinking, but this is definitely overpriced no matter how good the figure looks, right? Yes, this is perhaps a bit more detailed than the outer one in terms of the outfit design, but is it 8,000 yen more detailed? I'm not too sure. I think this figure should be 22 or 23,000 yen maximum, right? But it is really up to you because the figure still looks great. I won't deny that. And that is all for figures on Ami. Now we move on to AniplexPlus.com. There is a new figure of Marin Kitagawa, which is an Aniplex exclusive. I think this figure went under the radar of many of us. I did not even know this figure is on pre-order until earlier today, like a matter of hours ago, right? So this appears to be a swimsuit version, or I haven't translated this page yet. But this one is going for 19,800 yen. What do you think at this price for a 1/7 scale figure of Marin Kitagawa in swimsuit? Personally, I still like the one from before a lot more. Yeah, the one where she is on a futon measuring herself for photos, the scene we saw in anime. The previous figure is a lot better. This feels like, I'm not too sure. The face looks a bit weird, don't you think? I'm not sure if it is the angle the photo was being taken, but this does look a bit weird, or maybe I'm not used to seeing her with her hair being tied up. But yeah, the previous version is a whole lot better. I mean, look at her bikini over here. There is almost no details on it. This almost feels like a slightly better price figure in a way, so I'm not sure if I can recommend this one. And lastly, before we move on to resin figures, okay, over at niningame.com, there are no new ecchi figures this week, but as usual, for stuff made by Insight and Bful, yeah, those highly X-rated figures, go and check them out yourself. I'm not putting it on screen because they are too X-rated. And that concludes all of the genuine anime skill figures on pre-order. This week, a lot of good stuff and barely any bad stuff in between. This is an amazing week. And now, as usual, we'll move on to OzGK for third-party resin figures. Now we are in OzGK. Okay, as usual, we go down to the newest pre-orders section and then we'll check out all of the female characters that I have already selected. View more over here. So there are not too many resin figures this week compared to last week. The first one over here from SSR Figure Studio, we have Bunny Girl, Xiao and Jin Hua. So the full price for this is $155 for both figures. 155 for both is, yeah, it is a really good price. I know the figure does not look that good, like not very detailed. This is like barely better than price figure quality, but two figures for 155? Hell, why not? The only thing that is stopping me from recommending this figure is that, yeah, another bunny figure. There are so many bunny suit figures every week. And the pose on this one especially, I'm not too sure. It looks a bit odd to me. However, $155 for two figures, two sofas and one table over there with champagne on it. Hell, this is a great value. Moving on to the next one from Imagination Studio, we have Hu Tao from Genshin Impact. So this is not the final price yet. Okay, there are no price for this figure yet. This is a placeholder price. But do expect this to be really expensive. I'm predicting $300 minimum, right? Okay, so let's have a look at the pictures right here. This does not look like Hu Tao at all. I have no idea what Imagination Studio is doing. This is more like, yeah, third-party art, right? An artist, they design their own version of Hu Tao and then they call it Hu Tao. This is what it looks like to me. Very detailed figure. I do like everything about the figure, maybe except for the face itself. Yeah, that artwork over there, you see that small artwork over there, that is what Hu Tao looks like. So this figure looks nothing like her. This is more like a fan art interpretation of the character. Not necessarily a bad thing. This is up to personal taste in the end. The figure does look impressively detailed. I'll give it to Imagination Studio. They have been catching my attention lately actually. Up next, okay, I have no idea what this thing is, but I will cover it just for the sake of it. From FR Studio Original by Bondage Rabbit. What is this thing even? I suppose that this is for those of you who like animal girls in some way. Yeah, there you go. Not my kind of thing at all. What is the price again? I forgot to take a look. This is $150. Yeah, not a very detailed looking figure, but at least the price reflects that. Moving on to the next one, we have another super deformed Genshin figure. So many of them in the recent weeks. And once again, is this a 3D render or an actual product picture? I'm not too sure. Looks like a 3D render to me. Not a fan of that. 97 Studio Klee. And this one is going for 79 US dollars. Okay, there are several pictures over here. Let's have a look. Oh, these are actual product pictures, I think. Looks quite nice, but then I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure myself, but this is quite adorable. Moving on to the next one from Creation Epic Studio, we have original heart beating memory number 4, the little nurse giving injections. Licensed figure. This is a licensed resin figure. Must be licensed artwork, I think. Okay, so the full price for this 387 US dollars. And there is one with 461 US dollars, obviously with nude parts, right? I'm not going to click on those pictures. This is, the scale on this is 1/6, right? Oh, 1/4, okay. 35 centimeters, but sitting, this is a 1/4. So the pricing is actually okay for something like this. Realistic looking character. Actually do like the face quite a bit on this one. Yeah. But in the end, this really isn't my kind of figure. So of course, this is an easy pass for me. Moving on to the next figure right here. Okay, this is really nice. You don't see cyberpunk figures very often nowadays. Third parties used to make them quite a bit last time. Now we have this figure of Rebecca by OK Studio. This is no price yet. Okay, this is a placeholder price, not the real price. And this is 1/6 scale. I'm predicting 250 US dollars maybe. We'll take a look at the pictures first. Yeah, this looks like something that will go for around 250 US dollars. They have already made that character. Alright. The face is quite nice though. I do like what I'm looking over here. Now moving on to the next one, this is also not something you see often. In fact, are there even any other Tae Takemi third-party figures out there? I don't think so, right? I don't recall any at least. So this is by Greenleaf Studio, Tae Takemi Persona 5. The full price for this one starts from 461 US dollars. Must be a 1/4, I think. Let's have a look. Yes, this is a 1/4. So there are no 1/4 scale figures of this character out there. This is your only option. And then type B, 443 if you want the completely nude one, which I don't recommend. And then type C, of course, you get the parts for both versions. But as you can see, really expensive. 681 US dollars. So let's have a look at the pictures over here. Amakuni made a 1/7 scale of her, which was a really good figure. So good that people wanted it and it got a re-release. This one over here, 1/4 scale with that diorama, that office chair and that cabinet behind her. Yeah, this is really nice. I like this a lot. And even though this is a realistic interpretation, it feels rather natural. It feels almost like what I see in the anime itself or in the game itself, you know. This is a really good third-party figure of Tae Takemi. This is really nice. Up next, I think this is an original character, Midnight Punisher Crimson Flame by 6th Magnitude Star Studio, alright? So starts from 404 US dollars for the ordinary platform version. Then flame version 475. And then there is type V. Is this something new? There you go. I knew it. But this looks quite nice though. And then there is a flame platform 475 US dollars. And then there is a set of both for 629. Okay. So this one is a 1/4 scale. So the price is actually okay for this one. As far as original characters go, it looks fine, right? But there is nothing that special about it. Yeah. Nothing much going on actually. Up next, from Juhun Create Studio, we have original Fox Princess Twin Flowers Soul, an original character. This is just an artwork for now. Wait, why are there 2 pairs of legs over there? Oh, okay, 2 characters, alright. This is going to cost like, yeah, $1,000 and up, right? Okay, 1/4 scale. Yeah, these are photos of the actual product. I thought I was looking at an artwork, and this is incredible. Okay, we have this thing down here in BDSM. Now, this is absolutely a product of art. There's no way I would buy something like this, but you know, when I look at it, let's say this was being displayed in a figure event, I would be there for at least 5 minutes taking photos from various different angles just to appreciate this statue over here. This looks incredible, even though it is not the kind of thing I collect. Up next, okay, this is a very early bird pre-order. No price yet and only a teaser pic. We have Yelan from Genshin Impact by Hollow Arc Studio. So this is Yelan doing some sort of dance in a strip club, I think. Looks pretty detailed, and judging by the amount of details I'm looking at, this is probably a 1x4 scale. But we'll see. If the deposit is $150, this has to be 1x4. Up next, we have another original character, Guardian of the Holy Grail by Warhorse Studio. Okay, 484 US dollars for transparent version. What? Transparent? Color version 578 and deluxe where you get parts for both 593. So this has to be a 1x4 scale, right? It has to be, yep, 1x4 scale. Can kind of tell from the pricing alone. Okay, we'll just go through the pictures quickly. I don't like the face at all. The face looks like she has been punched in the face before, and then the face looks quite flat. Everywhere else about this figure looks nice, other than the face, not my kind. You know, even with real people, real human beings, girls, no matter how hot the body is, if the face is a train wreck, then there's no way I would like it, right? Face is more important. Yeah, not my... the face, not my kind, right? Not my type. Alright, moving on to the next one, Sledgehammer Studio. We have Uta from One Piece. This one is only 246 US dollars. Don't like it at all. I've never been a fan of the character design of this very character. Okay. You see, this base here triggers me so much. It feels like they are putting full attention on the main figure and then they are overlooking the base. This is so half-assed. Like those musical notes over there along with the 5 lines behind it. Yeah. It looks like bootleg quality, doesn't it? You know, when I see a base like this, and then the impression I got for this very figure brand is that they are not putting in their full effort on a relatively expensive product. I mean, this is $250. That is a lot of money, no matter who you're asking. So, yeah, I can't recommend this one, really. Moving on to the next one, we have more in... Moving on to the next one, we have a new Genshin Impact character getting that nude treatment because every single one of them needs to be. So for this week, we have 2 resin figures of 4 colors, and I believe that more will come in the following weeks. Yeah, guaranteed. By Triple S Hot Studio, we have 4 colors, no price yet. So as you can see, she is completely nude, and I'm sure a lot of Genshin fans out there who are closet perverts in some way, they're going to enjoy this. So yeah, I had to censor the picture, of course, because who knows what YouTube will do to my video. And then moving on to the next one from Tri-Eagles Studio, third-party resin figure brand that does licensed products. Chinese Paladin Ring Cho. Alright, so collection edition 740 US dollars, extreme version 982. Okay, so a more epic looking base, right? Now this one is 1x4 scale obviously and at least 50 centimeters tall. Let's enjoy the pictures because yeah, there's no way I'm buying something like this. Another Chinese manga or manhwa character, right? Even the regular version looks amazing already. And then this one, they really take things up a notch or 2. Yeah. If you can afford over $1,000 for a resin figure, might as well go all out, really. It is nice that they give options for people, like for those who want to save a bit of money, here you go, a cheaper option. But when you are spending at this level for a hobby, might as well go all out anyways, right? Yeah, it is incredible no matter how I look at it. But not something I'll ever buy. Moving on to the next one. Okay, this is one of the main stars of this week for resin figures. From RD Studio, we have Machoi Ryoko from Kill La Kill, not something you see often from third parties. 460 US dollars at 1 by... Okay, so 1 by 6 scale is already $460. That is really expensive. 1 by 4 scale, $599. Yeah, the 1 by 4 is more worth it, isn't it? Now let's have a look at the pictures right here. Okay, so half of the cost goes to the base. There are not many new figures from Kill La Kill anime nowadays, so yeah, you don't really have much of a choice over here. But if I were to go for Kill La Kill skill figures, I would still go for 1 by 4 just because there really isn't anything like it out there, right? I mean, look at it. 460 for 1 by 6, which is already really overpriced in my opinion. Why not add $140 and go for 1 by 4 skill, right? I think it makes sense. Moving on to the next one, we have two different figures of Ayanami Rei. This one is by Hunter Fan Studio, long hair version. So 441 US dollars for version A, 468 for version B. Oh, alright. So anime style face and also realistic style face, right? This time around, the realistic face looks quite nice also. I'm not complaining, even though I'm normally not a fan of them. Yeah. And extreme version, of course, you get the face part for both versions, which I think is the way to go for this specific figure right here. Not to mention, you're getting a nude torso. Now let's have a look at the pictures over here. This is quite tall, I believe. Sometimes I can't be sure whether I'm looking at a CGI render or the actual product pictures because this almost looks like a 3D render to me. But Hunter Fan Studio has been around for some time. It is not a new brand and I've heard good things about their products. Yeah, I think deluxe version is the way to go for this one right here. 1 by 4 scale, so the price is actually quite reasonable when I think about it. The next Ayanami Rei figure is by Feng Studio. This is a more budget one, starting from 126 US dollars, version B, 126 as well, long hair. And then version C, I suppose you're getting both, right? Yeah, always the case. For $231. Okay, so let's have a look at the pictures over here. I think the third parties really need to do better than this in order to convince people like me to even buy one. Because there really isn't much details on the Chinese dress somehow. Yeah, this is a low cost figure, I get it, but there are so many amazing figures from Evangelion in the genuine anime figure market. Why should I buy something like this? So they really need to give us a reason to buy it, and I'm afraid for this pair of figures of Anime Rei, I'm not seeing that. Doesn't look too convincing to me, yeah. The next one here, okay, this is the second full color figures for this week from Genshin Impact by Bai Tu Tang Studio. 265 US dollars. Is this how she looks like in the game? No, right? And what is that slime doing there? Yeah. Okay. I know I'm being a bit speechless right now because I'm not sure how to react to this figure. I'm not really a fan of the base, to be honest. You know, she looks like she's really having fun, but that face expression doesn't look like someone who will do this kind of thing, something like that. You know, it feels out of character. Anyways, I'm not sure if I like this figure of full colors, and I would suggest wait for other figure brands before pre-ordering this one. Once other brands like Dodomo Studio, Imagination Studio, what else, Synth and so on, once they jump on the bandwagon, I think they'll come up with something better. So maybe hold off the pre-order for this one. Okay, next one over here from Dodo Studio, we have Touhou from Azur Lane. Alright, this is a very early bird pre-order. We have 1x4 and 1x6 scale for this one. But firstly, we take a look at these CGI renders. Yeah, I can't really tell anything from these pictures, seriously. This looks like a really low quality render as well. Alright, the price here does not matter. This is a very early bird pre-order. We'll come back later once we get more pictures. The next one here from my girl studio, we have Nami from One Piece. This is just an early bird pre-order, just a teaser pic over here. 1x6 skill, $136 and 1x4 for 267 as usual. Yeah, One Piece stuff, they're usually quite affordable for some reason. And we can see this thing over here enjoying her ties. What a creature of culture right there. I also love good ties. The base is kind of overdone. The base is too much. Just too much. They are squeezing an entire beach, including a sandcastle and the waves into one single base over there. I'm not sure if I like that base, but yeah, those are really nice hips and thighs over there. And the last resin figure for today, this one is quite a head scratcher to me. Like, why does this even exist? Yujai Rensing Studio original character, a nun. The full price $379 at 1x4 scale. Alright, this is 1x4 scale. So you are really buying this thing only for the size. The face is weird as hell. Might as well pay less for the ones made by Native and their gang of X-rated figure brands. They are making a lot of nun figures which look amazing at 1x7, 1x6 scale. Yeah, I would rather you go for that, right? This is 1x4, this is huge, and maybe you can strip her nude, but the Native figures do the same. So this one, I'm not sure why this even exists at all. The face looks so weird. Yeah. And that is all for figures on pre-order this week between 25th to 30th of September 2023. Which one will you pre-order this week? This is a crazy week for genuine figures. Let me know down in the comments below, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more figure news fix every week. Until then, I'll see you guys again very soon. Goodbye.